Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Creative Dezine. I am your host, Izzy, and we have a jam-packed session for today. But let me tell you first, this is exciting because we are at the end of season 2. And again, thank you so much for being here and supporting my projects and just allowing me to create zines because this is what I love to do the most. So right now I'm seeing Alessandra. Hello. I'm seeing Jack, I'm seeing Joshua. It's so nice to see you here, and let's get ready to party. So first of all, I want to bring you to my presentation, and I want to do just a quick recap because we have done so much in the last 4 episodes. So right here, I will ask the moderator to kindly share the presentation in the chat, as I've noticed just right now that the link isn't quite proper, but that's okay. It's going to be fixed if you're watching this later. All right, so Creative Dezine, we are here. Oh, and yes, actually, because this is the last of season 2, I'm not going to give away 1, but 2 zines here that are like super fancy, super fun for your own creativity. I had some people saying, oh no, you're not sending them digitally, you're actually sending them like for real. I can touch them, and yes, and I'm sending them all over the world. So 2, make sure to stay tuned. I'll give you a secret word, and then the first 2 people that puts this word in the chat will win. All right, sorry about that. Let's go back to the presentation. So quick recap, the project, composition, decompose, the description is all here. So essentially we are just building on the idea of like layers of composition, removing, taking like just deconstructing and doing it again. And we have started by doing that in looking at our mood board. So this is a really nice mood board that I actually go to for other projects right now. So this is also available to you. And then we did a lot of images that we are using in our zines in Firefly, but we actually broke. We broke Firefly, like not literally, but we definitely inserted different types of prompts. So we actually took the definition of the design principles instead of actually putting in like exactly what we were trying to get, because we did not know we were trying to get. And that allowed us to get some really funky results that you will see very soon. We also reference some collages that were made previously. So this is also a great way for you to create images, just knowing that it's your own because you're referencing something that you have made on your own previously. So this is just like some of the images that we have referenced in Adobe Firefly, and here are some of the results. I mean, I am still so in awe of like the results that we were able to get here. So with that, we created a visual identity very quickly. This is the content that we have put it into our zine, which actually you can click on that link. And if you wish to create your own zine, you can also use that very content here. We also looked into how to build a book for the book formatting, and specifically with a saddle stitch. And we went through all of the explanation of how you need to set up your InDesign for that specifically. We looked into content planning. We looked into grids and why they are your best friends. And the principle of using grids is also something you can use throughout all of your projects, not just publishing, but everything. And this is some of our results for the inside pages. Once we did that, we also designed the cover. I feel like I have to take my breath here. We designed some postcards to go along with the zines as like swag to go with it. And we have also designed a sticker sheet to be put inside the zine as pages. So just something fun to give some pizzazz to your zine. And now we are here today. So now that we have done all this in 3 sessions, may I add, which you can also find the link in the description of this very live. But what should we do next? And of course, once everything is printed with your zine, you need to shout it out to the world that this project exists. So I want to go into Illustrator because to me, you cannot have a zine and not do anything. You have to publish it at least on your stories. So I'm going to go and create a new document. And of course, I'm going to use the dimensions. So 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels, just making sure that this is select pixel. And I'm going to create, and please don't be scared, 35 artboards. I know I'm crazy, but please bear with me. RGB is correct because we're not printing this. So create, and it needs to think a little bit, but this is basically going to be our full artboard. But now I'm actually, because this is too small and I want to see it more, I'm going to go into my artboard and just rearrange them a little bit. So if I go here, I actually like the fact that it's grid and column. I'm going to do 3 rows, and I'm actually going to give myself enough space to go in between. So I'm going to do 200 pixels, and let's see what happens. See, now I'm feeling much better, and I didn't have to redo all of this by hand, right? And I'm seeing Alessandra, that's not enough artboards. I mean, yes, ambitious, but at the same time, I'm going to show you how that can be filled up very, very quickly, because the goal to be doing this is to create a stop motion. And I'm going to also show you how to create this like that. Your mind will be blown. I kid you not. Your mind will be blown, okay? Like, like this is a promise that I'm making to you. All right. So here, just going to add this here. I'm going to just create just a simple shape, just making sure that it's covering the full artboard. I'm going to color it just for the moment. There you go. And again, I'm going to basically use the same principles as what we have seen in the postcard design, but I'm going to go to drawing modes here. I'm going to do draw inside and place some images again that we have designed together with Firefly. So I have my folder here. I have a lot of them. And I'm going to take this one to start. The images are big, so sometimes my computer needs to think a little bit, which is happening right now. And there you go. Perfect. And see how basically what it does the same here as if it was a clipping mask. But I love the fact that I have a lot of free way to like move my image around. All right, now, because I want to create that stop motion, you know, you probably have seen it on like Instagram and your Reels, or even TikTok, where there's a logo in the middle and then everything kind of changes in the back. This is essentially what we will be creating. So in order to do this, I will go create another layer. So this one will be design. This will be our design layer. Add another layer here, and I'll be calling it logo. Now, I'll go into my libraries, fetch the logo. There you are. Perfect. And it's already on the proper layer. Actually, this is, I don't have a white version, which I should have done have prepped before. Let me just go and fetch it somewhere so then I can. This is live, so sometimes stuff like this happens. Actually, I'm going to go here. And you're going to see where we're actually going before we're doing it, but that's okay. It's going to give you a good idea. See, these are our 35 artboards, but before we go there, I need to show you how to make them. All right. I also like that this is the vector and not a PNG for the logo right here. All right. So now I want to make sure that everything is pasted in place like the same. So again, I'm going to copy everything and then make sure I hold the shift key, command, making sure that I click inside my artboard and paste right here. And again, here, if I go into my links, which would be here, making sure that it's the image at the back that I have, I can go just click on the relink button, go into my Firefly images and pick a new image like so. And I'm just noticing that this is actually on the wrong layer. So that's okay. I'm gonna remove that on the design one and paste in place. And this will be black. Another way that you can do this very quickly is selecting your logo and just going like so everywhere. And I won't show you how to design the full 35, but I'm going to show you just a few tricks that I had a lot of fun with. So here still, I'm just going to, I should have pasted it in place. We want to make sure that we don't have a conflict of visibility in the background, which is very important. So sometimes if we just find like an interesting place to kind of have the background, there you go. I'm actually going to put it like this. That cream color. Perfect. So now here, like I could do a lot of the same thing, but I want to have something different. So I'm actually going to do the same, going into my links panel and relink. And I took the liberty of making some mock-ups of the zine that we have created together. So I can actually just do the same here and then reposition. And what I like, because it's already in a clipping mask, I can just have fun with that. See how it's being contained in the shape? And I can just have fun with it and create something really cool. I'll do that one more time. Just relinking it. And I will also change the colored background with our library colors. Also, I have a little secret to tell everyone. I just really started to use libraries and I don't know why I was not using them. Like I made them, but my instinct was not to go and fetch everything from the libraries. Massive game changer. It has revolutionized my way of working, which is important, just efficient working. So let's have like a nice and interesting point of view for this. And I think having this in the cream color. So you see where like I want to go. I'm going to make another one. I want to show you how to make this one here, which is super fun. So this one, I need to create that pattern with the logo, which I will create just quickly. And again, using my align tool as my best friend, grouping that. Putting it in an angle. And I can do the same thing, just going over, making sure my shape is perfect. And now I'm doing a clipping mask in the reverse way. So instead of actually drawing inside and seeing, I want to make sure that my shape covers everything. So I'm going to give you like the shortcut for this, which also I just learned recently, and I should have known that before. But before I do this, I actually want to have the outline. of the logo. I'm gonna make that a little thicker. Copy that. Select everything, and then you can just do Command 7, like so. Then I want to have a black. How about something like that? Background, bringing that to the front. Oops. Aha, it's not on the proper layer. That makes sense because I was on the logo layer. Bringing that to the front here. Aligning it. Grouping it. And there you go. So you can just have fun and create a lot of different stories. You can put a lot of mock-ups. You can basically go crazy with it. So basically, like you saw, there was no secrets there, but you can see the work that was done before. This is all some snippets of the zine that we have created. I have also added some of the stickers from the sticker sheet that we have done. And like, I just had fun with it. Like even just having the words of the like design principle that we were talking about in the zine, just having the words here, and it makes like a cool story. All right. I also just put an extra story where I obviously put, okay, like creative Dezine, and I'm advertising something with a call to action. So once everything is designed, you're going to go to File, Export, Export as. You want to make sure that it's in PNG, and then use artboards. So again, went ahead and exported everything. And this is where the fun starts to happen. Because we want this to be like choppy really, really fast, we could do it in Adobe Express, but it can take just a little bit of time. So I'm going to show you just a way to do it very quickly. So if you go into and you open just one story, I'm going to take the first one here. I have it here. And then I'm just going to put that just a little smaller for now because I want to drag and drop everything, all of my stories. Like so. And I'm going to take everything. And this is maybe not the proper way of doing it. Oops, but it's the most efficient way of doing it. Make sure that you hold your shift key to select everything and then just click and drag over to Photoshop. I'm just gonna bring that back. Perfect. And then I'm just going to press enter and see how everything is already in the right proportion. The logo is always at the same place. And I can just keep adding the layers. And you might be saying, okay, but Izzy, this is Photoshop. Like, how are you going to animate it? Hold on, I got you covered. Let me just, there's 35 of them. So that means I have to press enter 35 times. All right. So if you go to Window and you actually select Timeline, you'll see this bottom menu that's going to, and I'm going to make it bigger here so everyone can see. This bottom menu that is just going to pop up, and you can actually click on that button here, create frame animation, which you will. And this creates like your first frame. But we want to do a stop motion with all of the layers that we have. So if I can, hold on, I have my zoom window in the wrong spot. There you go, move that. So if we go into that hamburger menu at the bottom right here, and then we click on make frames from layer. Because we have all of the layers here, all of the frames here have been added. Now everything is set to 0, which means it won't show up, like it won't move when we press play. So we can Just make sure to have all of the frames selected. Click on the second, like it's like time menu. There's an arrow down. And let's do 0.2 millisecond. And then let's see. And we have a stop motion. That took us 10 minutes to create. I mean, granted, you have to design your stories before, but in order to create that stop motion, that was very, very quick. But now you might say, okay, so how do I export it? So there's two ways that you can export this. So the first one here, if you wanted to export it for web, you can definitely do a GIF. So you can export here, save for web. And it isn't a heavy file because there's a lot of layers here. And I made sure to save my stories at 150 DPI, not 300. I don't like it when it's 72. Sometimes I find it's too small for social media, but 150 to me is kind of like that happy middle. And by all means, you can tell me if that's good or wrong or the way that you are doing it. And I'd be happy to know how you're doing it. Okay, so while it's thinking right here, there is a lot happening in my computer right now. So you can export with a GIF and it will keep that animation, but you can also export from Photoshop into a video. And we'll just kind of wait here a little bit. Super speedy top motion. Yes, indeed, Jack. That it was made like that. Okay, so there you go. We have that menu popping up. So here is where you would choose to have a GIF. So I'm just going to hit cancel. And if you want to export it as a video, you would go to File, Export, and then at the very bottom, you have Render Video. And then you can, again, it's probably going to take a little bit of time. My computer needs to think. But you can export it as an MP4. And this is the fun part, because then you can actually bring that into Adobe Express, which we will do. Here you have like all of your, like you have your menu that you can select the options that is best for you. So I'm just going to cancel this, and I'm not going to save this because I have done it before. And I'm going to actually show you, oops, the same, because we can do the same with our zine spread and create a GIF from that. So again, if you go to your InDesign, so this is the zine that we have created, and then you go to export here. You can choose PNG and then export all of your spread. And same thing, I'm just gonna do that just one more time, because I wanna make sure that it sticks. I have my zine pages here. Because we also saw this, like there is no way that we can have the first page because it's just one page if you want to do a spread GIF, but if you can also export your pages from InDesign into a spread or just singular page, up to you in how you want to do that GIF. So open right here. Then I'm going to find my zine pages right here. Go back to Photoshop, select all that. Drop it in. And also because it's already numbered, right? Like your pages are already numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same things with your artboards. It's already going to be in order whenever you just pasted it like that. So this is awesome. Again, create frame from animation. Just going to go back like so. That little menu, make frame from layer. Select everything. This one we'll do 0.5 because we want to see the design a bit more. And there you go. We have a GIF made in Photoshop. So if you're like me and you're not good with any like video stuff, I definitely need to watch more Adobe Live on After Effects and all that. But this is like a quick way to just create some animation. So once we have exported that, there's one more thing that I would like to do before we go into Adobe Express. So I'm just not going to save. I'm also seeing a lot of reels where we have, it's put into a mockup. And I always wondered, how can that be done? And again, I'm pretty sure it's really easy if you're like really good at video stuff. But again, for me, like, I'm not the best. So I want to be doing it in Adobe Express. And I have found a way to do it. So I'm going to use this mockup right here. And if this after is bothering you, you can always just go back to that hamburger menu and do close. And so this is a regular mockup, right? We could do the same and actually change the image into the smart object and then create a GIF like that. But that's just a lot of work. So let's go into our layers. And I want to actually merge everything down. So we can do flatten image. The reason for that is that I want to remove this part. So I'm going to take my selection tool like so, and I want to remove what's in the iPhone. So this is transparent. I want to make sure that the lock is removed from my layer. I'm going to take my selection, move that. And then I have a phone that I can put whatever in the background with. So I'm going to export that into a PNG. Zakia, are you a magazine designer? Magazine, I have designed some spreads for magazines, but I do a lot of zines, which can be considered a magazine, like the one that I showed you at the very beginning, like here. um, it's pretty intense work. Let me just put it like that. And the same conceptual thinking that you have to think about whenever you design a spread in a magazine goes into that type of publishing. So here, just going to save that. Perfect. So now we have all of our elements to create some magic in Adobe Express. Perfect. So let's go back to right here. So I want to create again let's do actually an Instagram reel. So let's go here. And I want to update, sorry, not update, I want to upload my own photos and video. So I'm going to go to media here, upload from device. I'm going to upload that phone that we just have edited and removed the background. Going to make that a little bigger. Like so, and then I'm going to upload the video that we have created. Actually, let's do this one. Making sure that it fits. And I'm going to bring that at the back. And let's hit play and let's see what happens. So within 30 minutes, we have designed an animated mockup that you can either use on social media or that you can use on your website also. So should you want to bring that into your social media, you can either download right here, or you can also click share. And I'm going to do a schedule post for that one. Schedule post. Gonna be posting that on my Instagram. Schedule. Let's do it tomorrow. Oh, 5 a.m. That's way too early. So let's do 9:30 a.m. Perfect. Let's add a caption. Look at what I just made in Adobe Express. You can also preview. So it would look like this. Looks amazing. And then, oh yeah, that would be a reel. And then you can schedule. And now you don't even have to think about it. And then you're good to go. So another thing that I really like about Adobe Express is that you can also resize. So we actually have talked about doing like using this onto your website if ever you wanted to promote it or build a full case study around it. So we can click here on resize and we can go into, we'll actually do a custom. So let's do 2000 width by 1500 pixel. And we can also do here a square post. And let's do a Facebook post. Who uses Facebook nowadays, right? And if you do, that's totally cool. I still check it. Duplicate and resize. So while it's thinking, it's actually doing the work for us. It's actually bringing what we have created already and resizing it. So we still have to do a little bit of work. So here, if we click on the second one, so this would be our custom size. So now I'm seeing that this is probably not working for that size, but that's okay because we have something that we call generated fill on Photoshop. So let me open this one that I have pre-made for you. Still, you can see that it's not in the proper size, but you know, I really like the texture on it because it actually reminds me some of the images that we have created within Adobe Firefly. So I feel like there's going to be a nice connection to that background. So basically what I'm going to do is just crop that, make it bigger. I'm actually going to do this. And before I generate anything, I just want to make sure that it's centered. Then I'm going to select and just do generated fill, and let's see what happens. I love to see what results, and I'm always amazed by how like perfect it is. And please let me know in the chat if you, I mean, this is pretty seamless. Let me actually zoom on that so we can see. All of the three options that we got is pretty good. And we're going to do the same on the other side, and let's see if it understands with the lighting. And another thing that I have noticed that I can show you, just a kind of tiny trick, because Adobe Express does not, for the moment, allow any distortion or like, because it's made for like for everyone to use, which is amazing. But in order to prevent any image distortion where everything just doesn't look quite right, it's not allowing us to distort. But I have noticed that let me go back, that whenever we had this, it was pretty snug. And if we go back to here, we still had a bit of breathing room. So let me copy this here onto this, like onto our Photoshop, just to make sure that everything is going to fit properly. Also, it generated everything perfectly. And before we, oh, there you go. Stop. Oh, I decided to add the smart object into my library. So let's just hold on for this. Oh, Alessandra's saying, oh, I like this. Great. It's just some tiny tricks just to make sure that, sorry, I'm trying to stop this. Just some tiny tricks that to make sure that whenever you're doing the work, you don't have to do it twice. And it's the fine details that will definitely elevate your portfolio, your publication, your zine, or whatsoever that you're trying to do. If you pay attention to those small details, it's going to just help you in your design career. And I say this, I give a lot of presentations to students in university, and hold on, for some reason, I think this had crashed. I am so sorry about this. Let's come back to it. But I do give a lot of presentations to students, art students, design students in college and university. And I tell them one thing, and it's really hard to hear, but it is so important. And it goes by saying, you are only as good as your weakest project on your portfolio. It hurts, right? This hurts. So it's just a reality, right? I know some clients who actually look at portfolios or look at anything that you may submit to them. It could be a publication or anything. And they will look at the worst and they said, if I can see this being part of like the business or organization that we are working with, then they are a good fit. So be very mindful of what you are putting onto that portfolio. Okay, so let's try that again with Photoshop. I'll do pixels this time. Oh, this is it's not allowing me to paste. Okay, it seems that Photoshop is not happy with me right now. Let's go back to this one and pretty sure I can show you. Okay, well, that's okay because we have more stuff to work on. So now we have this nice, let's go back here. Publication. Let's see what it does if we actually just scale it. What if? You know what? There's always a solution. So now I have Photoshop that is testing me, but I do have my library over here, and I know that I can do some pretty cool stuff with the stuff that I have here. So how about instead of having a full image, we actually have fun with some of the assets that are in, like so, in order to create that animation GIF for your website. There's always a solution. Like so. And I also absolutely love this mini kind of graphic that we have done for the postcards. Let me add a background color. Let's see, how is this? That looks good. Perfect. Let's see how this works I mean, that would be super. Another thing that you could do as well is actually add, we have the logo on the actual video, but let's say if we didn't, you could definitely add the logo onto here. Actually, I'm going to remove this and maybe I'm going to add this one. I'm going to add this one. There you go. This was also from the postcards. All right. So then we can hit the next one. And of course, if you don't want everything to scale like all weird, you can go and you can group your stuff. So let's see if we select, if you select like both of your media here, you can group them. So that makes it very easy to scale like so right here. Let me see if we can, there you go. Scale back a little bit. And now you have an IG post using the same stop motion that you have created. Also, I forgot that for the first story here, we forgot to add the last story that we have created. Hold on. So let's go here, go back to update from device, and it's here. And it's always good to have kind of a CTA at the end, just to situate your viewer. And we're just gonna do this for 1 second. And let's start that over. So this would be the full story reel. And there you go, link in my bio. Perfect. So we were able to quickly create all of this, but now we also want to have something to engage with your audience. So we have about 10 minutes left, and I want us to go back in Illustrator, and I want us to create some, again, stories, but you know those stories that you can screenshot and then share. So again, it's already at the proper setting for our stories, but I don't want to do 35 of them. Let's start with maybe 3. And again, I'm going to go to my artboards and then rearrange the artboards. I'm going to just line them up. And again, I want to have 200 pixels in between. Perfect. So the first thing that I want to do is like think about the content that we have created in our zine, which was all about composition. And I want the audience to basically create their own. How does that mean? It could mean with them screenshotting this, maybe they add their own GIFs, maybe they add text. So we're going to give them some prompts in order to interact with that. So let's start with just having this rectangle. We'll do it black. Just going to lock that for now. And again, going to the library because I love this mini crazy gradient that we have created. I always go back to it like so here. And this is kind of an anchor. It's everywhere. It's on all of our products. Basically, it's on the postcards, the zine, and now on the social media as well. Thank you, Joshua. I love to like just create a different process for like whenever it's my own personal projects, different process, because then I can experiment and I can try new stuff that I did not know I could do, which is always important. So here, just want to make sure I have the proper font, which is Elsa Text, and Elsa Text is my favorite font from Adobe fonts. So you can also have them. Okay, so I'm also going to go and fetch that logo right here. So let's put that in the middle. Oops. See, it was not on the proper artboard. Okay. So here, the first one could be a composition. So we could just use the words that we have been exploring. So it could be contrast. Here could be unity. And we'll do the same here. We got, let's do repetition. Oops. And let's also do balance. This is feeling just a little too big for my taste. As you know, very much of a minimalist, and this zine is also minimalistic. I want to make sure that everything is aligned properly, so I'm going to just group this. Actually, I'll align these two first. Perfect. Then align it to the left. And this, I'm also going to change the paragraph to justified to the right, and then align it to the right as well. And then align it at the top. Oops. Perfect. Going to group that and then put it in the middle. And then, of course, we are missing a CTA. So we have to write, oops, this is stretch. This is what I meant earlier by not scaling. Like we can't distort. So that here we can distort easily. So we can say paste the first GIF you see when typing those words. Let's just like typeset it a little bit. Actually, I feel like this needs to be a little bit more colorful. So let's go into our libraries, and yes, this works for me. How is it looking from Joshua saying Elsa text might be the Vectica replacement I have been looking for. I mean, I love it. I also love the fact that it comes with a big family and it has like everything like italics, bold, blacks. And it's been serving me right. And I find like it's really readable, which is great. This is what we want. Okay, now I want to add some shapes. I think I'm going to do some circles. Just going to repeat 4 of them. Like so, just making sure they are aligned. Again, the align tool is your best friend. It just makes sure that everything is good and aligned, and everyone loves centers. It's really rare that I'll say this. Sometimes I find for stories it's tough to align stuff to the left or justify your text to the left. So this is where I quote unquote cheat with like centering text and stuff like that. But this is where you can have fun with it. Okay, so now just going to change those circles into some colors. Oops. So this would be one that you could use and then invite people to participate. Oh, but the most important, they need to know where it's coming from. So we need to add your handle. So RD underscore Izzy. Oops. Then maybe even another call to tag a friend. Like so. And let's make that smaller, but still visible for everyone to see. So there you go. So that would be one of your shareable stories to engage. Now, I mean, you kind of want to have like a storyline whenever this happens. So let's create another one that actually sells your zine, right? So we can go here, and I'm seeing, and I don't have a lot of time left, but we can do it. So make that, actually, let's play with composition here and have something kind of funky. Going to do this. Let's create a rectangle. It doesn't matter the color that you actually put it, because I want to type on the pat here. So I'm using here, if you actually click and hold, you can type on pat. You can go here. It's going to just give you lorem ipsum, but let's just delete that and say a new zine is in town. Explore the principle. It's actually hard to read because it's upside down. Principles of design and composition. And learn how to decompose. And I would just repeat that another time. Oops. Like so. And now because it's centered, it's not aligning properly here. And you can have a lot of fun with it. You can also like do that and just like create like an infinite design and play with compositions. So here you are. This was some stories to create and have fun that you can either like design with Illustrator or go into Adobe Express. And I want to show you basically, so basically like, yeah, by creating your stop motion, this is some examples. And again, this is available in the presentation that was given to you at the beginning of this presentation, or live if you want. And this is an example of what I wanted to do with that, like generated fill and like and fill the sides, so we can all do this like and add this into your portfolio. One thing that I forgot to mention is for the phone specifically, you want to make sure that the phone is straight and not like tilted and slanted, because then again, hard to actually distort that video. So finding a mock-up like this one is the way to go. I found mine on Maison Mockup. Okay, time for the draw. So because we have been working so much on stories, I guess the word of the day will be story. So the first two people to write the word story in Behance will win this zine right here, full of inspiration, full of great artists to discover, like Tim Singleton here, who is amazing. Should definitely have a check to his profile. And also, you can also go back to this full season of Creative Dezine. Oh, we have Alessandra. Alessandra, you're winner number one. So I'm waiting for the second one to come in. But yes, you can go back to all of the episodes. I have updated all of the documents that were shared during this full season. So everything is up to date and cohesive to make sure that you have a easy process to follow. If you're curious and you love to do zines, there's also season 1, 6 episodes for that one, where we created CJ, this little mascot here. We had lots of fun. And I would love to invite you to follow me on Behance, where this project will be updated very soon. And okay, you heard it here first. And I will share this link into the chat, but I'm actually launching this call for submission for the next zine, the next Ottawa Design Club zine that you can see here, Building Bridges. I'm actually launching it in 2 days. So here you have access to it first before the whole world to see, only for Adobe Live. So make sure to scan that QR code and submit your wonderful submission if you want to be featured in the next zine. And who knows, I might be giving a draw with your spread design in the next zine, because everything is possible on Adobe Live. And on that, thank you so much for the support. Please continue to create, continue to watch Adobe Live. And until next time, bye everyone. Oh my gosh, that like Photoshop thing. Yeah, I know, but that Photoshop thing throw me